Hello there. I have some Easter goodies I made, and they're so cute. I can't wait to share them with you. I'm Whitney with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and thank you for joining me today. So, most of our goodies today are Dollar Tree, with a few exceptions. But let's get into our first one here. We got one of these cute little, fairly new circular signs from Dollar Tree. And now this is a create your own little egg thing I got last year, but you can get them this year. And then also a roll of gift wrap that I got just recently. All their spring stuff out, super cute, bright colors, Dollar Tree. Then I've got about 3 rolls of random pretty brightly colored ribbon, and then a bundle of some greenery that I got off of Amazon. But you can get greenery at Dollar Tree if you're lucky enough. My Dollar Trees don't seem to have the greenery. But in any event, continuing, I just took my finger sander here and I kind of got some of the little rough splintery parts off of the middle of our sign, and then I took the writing off the back of our egg, because that package comes with 2 eggs and they're like the create your own, but I'm going to use the back of the egg to cover. I didn't want anything to come through the paper because it is a white based paper, so I just unrolled the wrap. You saw me put the egg on top of it, and now I'm going to use some scrapbook adhesive. It's called AdTech Glue Runner. It is a wonderful adhesive I used to use when I was a scrapbooker. But I've used it in most of my DIYs when we're doing paper. Put that down, and I'm using the finger sander to basically sand off the edges, and look at this clean edge that you get. And that's a good thickness for a piece of wood. And it's also, the size of that egg is great. So if you see those little create your own things, think outside the box. You don't have to actually color them or use them as they're intended. Now, I want to add some raised, like a raised garden-y kind of thing. So I'm going to put some greenery behind it, which is where you see the Amazon bush there. Now I'm taking some scrap leftover pieces of styrofoam I have in my little styrofoam. I have a scrap box for everything, dude. I got a junk bucket for everything else. And then I have a ribbon junk bucket because the junk bucket got full of junk to the point where I couldn't get the ribbon. And now I have a junk box / leftover scrap box of styrofoam. I mean, at least I'm keeping them all together. Also, I prematurely glued down the styrofoam there, as you see me pull that back up, because I want to put the ribbon around it. This is my decoration. So we got a really pretty floral paper, and then I picked up some bright colors in my stash. These ribbons are, this yellow and white one is from craftoutlet.com. Obviously, you can see the Dollar Tree one I'm using now is an orange gingham or an orange buffalo check. Is buffalo check still buffalo check if it's a different color than red or black and white? I don't know. I've got so many questions. Help me, answer me, guys. And then, of course, this thin one is a satin ribbon that you can get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's like they're really cheap spools, 88 cents, dollar something, $1.19 maybe. Not sure anymore. Prices have gone up since as far back as I can remember. So I just layered these brightly colored ribbons on top of each other just to put a cute little decoration right in the middle of our egg. I didn't have anything else to put in the middle, like a cute little wooden sign or something else. If you have a Cricut or if you're a vinyl person, go ahead and do something on there like that. I just wanted this to be a very fun and easy thing. Now, these bright colors make me so happy that I just wanted to make something fast that I didn't actually have to think too much about. I didn't want to have to stamp or do anything else like that, so I just added the ribbon around it. Now, you see me here, I'm going to test out the thickness of the styrofoam prior to gluing it down. So I'm cutting off all the stems of my little greenery bundle here. And what I want to do is, before I glue down my egg, I'm going to cover our styrofoam here in some Spanish moss, because this one is not going to be as densely, populated. Is that word? I'm going to populate it. Densely covered with the greenery picks going around the edge, so you might see the styrofoam. So just as a see here, I just wanted you to be able to see the foam, not see the foam. I wanted you to not see the foam, Whitney. Jeez. I wanted you to be able to see the foam and the glue and then, all the other behind the scenes stuff like the back of the paper. Jeez. Okay. Today is antonym day. It's now whatever I say, do the opposite. Kidding. Anyways, continuing before I get distracted again. I'm taking my pieces of my greenery here after I'd already clipped them off. I clipped them off into basically, if you can take one stem off of the bush, you can cut that stem 2 more times at every Y intersection if you look at the stem or if you look at the bundle. So I'm taking those and I'm just pushing those through the Spanish moss into our styrofoam beneath there. So I'm making a cute little, almost like a hidden wreath, you could say. So it's kind of like a good way to kind of cheat the system and not actually have to put a full wreath behind there. And I just want a lot of greenery out there. Now, I was going to leave this little hanger alone, but the beads on it look like they had been through some hard times. A couple of them looked like they'd been half chewed on and stepped on and broken. So I just saved the good ones. And I think it's about 3 of them. I was really going to leave it, guys, but it bothered me too much. So I just got my little stash of beads out. My wooden beads, I've got a combination of like Dollar Tree beads here. But the ones I'm picking out here are a little bit larger, and I got them off of Amazon. I'm still using what's left of the Dollar Tree beads that came on our little hanger here. I'm just going to kind of intersperse them. Intersperse? I'm going to mix them up. You see, the larger ones are from my Amazon, and then the Dollar Tree beads I still put around there. Now I'm going to zoom out so you can see. I'm just using my stapler and a little hammer, which is the cutest little mini hammer I've ever seen. I am addicted to little tiny tools, so if you have a tool and it's like exactly the same but smaller, I will buy it. Doesn't matter. I'm a sucker for it. And I'm talking through it. Now we're going to add these. Anyways, I stapled that back on and just used the hammer to secure it. This here that I'm holding for the long period of time to show you is off of a 6-foot garland from Hobby Lobby. You can get the beaded garland. It's like a berry type garland year round. Wait till they're on sale. You get a really good price. And I basically part the whole thing out. I take them apart and put them in my little, arrangements and bows and things like that. And in this instance, this was very springy and happy and florally to me. So I'm just taking one little sprig off of the garland, and then I'm cutting them all into their own individual stems. Now I didn't feel like it was curly enough, so I'm taking a glue stick and I'm wrapping that little, pipberry goodness around it to give it a more of a curly cue. And I usually do this with the glue stick all the time because it's like the perfect circular circumference. That's lots of big words today, huh? Testing out my vocabulary. My elementary school teachers will be proud of me. Circumference. Populate. Anyways, now you guys know what I think are big words. So I stuck the berries in there, and I think it's done. Like I wanted to put maybe some pink flowers, and then I kind of felt like it still needs something else, but it makes me happy. It makes me smile. I love that wrapping paper. I mean, I'm looking for an excuse to give somebody a gift so I can wrap something in it again. Otherwise, I'm going to probably end up just wrapping an empty box for decoration, because I've done that before. I've just put gifts on a table. A gift on a table looks pretty. It's just, think something that makes you happy. I like looking at gifts. So even though it's nobody's birthday, I'll find something to wrap. But that wrapping paper really did make it for me. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But I think this turned out, it's also really pretty fast, cute, and easy. So we hit 3 right there on that marker. Now our second DIY. These 2 goodies here, also from Dollar Tree. We got a bunny head and this is one of the newer items that Dollar Tree's coming out. These little farmhouse things, just a little wooden plaque. It's already got the, the chipboard look, but this bunny's a little rough. So I'm cleaning it up a decent amount. Now I didn't make you watch me do the whole thing, but I am cleaning it up with my finger sander because those bunnies were really rough. And now what we're going to do is paint everything. So I'm going to try this candle technique where I've done this before, but this one turned out so awesome. I'm taking a candle. Now this is a Dollar Tree candle I've had, and I'm using it. I'm just rubbing it all over the surface. Now you're only supposed to rub it in the places you don't want paint to stay, because you're going to scratch the paint off after it dries. I rubbed it all over thinking, but Whitney, you're not going to take all of the paint completely off when you're done. So don't rub it. I was like, maybe put it in the creases. So I'm going to paint the whole thing white, but I had to make sure I got some of the wax out of those little channels there that made like a natural board look to this piece. So I'm painting everything white, solid white. Now this is home decor. It's a folk art home decor chalk paint in, I believe, the color's cottage white. If you're needing to know, it's a bright, crisp white. And I'm using a pencil. I'm coloring. I'm painting the whole outside edges, and then I'm going to give it a really good coat in the middle, including the 2 little grooves there where they're, giving you the sense that it's an actual, beadboard type thing. So what I did was I did one coat, and you can see here, you can still see the black through it. The candle wax on it didn't make any kind of huge impact, but it was a little bit see-through. So I did a second coat after I dried it there with my little travel blow dryer. Best thing ever for drying paint. And then now that it's dry, we're going to take just a scraper. This is the Dollar Tree brand of the Cricut squeegee. It's a wannabe Cricut from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using it to just scratch things off. Now, the more pressure you put on, the more paint comes off. The less pressure, the less comes off. So I did a thin layer of wax, and I love this look. And you can still see that the little channels, I made sure I got all the white paint in. Those aren't affected. And I think it looks great. So I kept just trying to see how much of it will show behind the bunny head after we paint her. And I love the way that turned out. That was very fast and effective. I did all that in probably the course of like less than 5 minutes. There's no like long dry wait time or anything like that. So that technique would look great even on a larger project. So if you've tried that before, or you think that that's something you've done, let me know in the comments how you like it or how it turned out. So now we're painting our bunny head. Now this is mineral color Waverly chalk paint. I did a solid color on that. And at first I was just going to put the bunny on our beautifully distressed little board here, this little plaque. And I thought, you know, I don't want to make the bunny too busy, but I felt like it was kind of missing something because it's like, you know, I dry brush everything, obviously, but I thought it might be too busy, but I actually thought it was a little bit too boring. So I was getting ready to do flowers, and then at the last minute, I decided to take what you see here. I got my chip brush and I got my chalk paint back out, and I just did a light dry brushing. So I basically would load up my chip brush, kind of dab it off, and then drag it slowly. Now I've sped this up 6 times. So you're watching me work 6 times as fast as I really did, but I just dragged it up and down so that you got a good little, maybe a light dry brushing on it. I mean, it has to be Farmhouse to make my heart happy, so I couldn't say no. And also we're putting up a whole bunch of beautiful floral. And here right here is to prove, yes, it stands up. My cutting mat is warped. I ironed something on it. Yes, I ironed on it, but I had a towel down, not thinking that the steam goes through the towel, Whitney. And I warped my cutting mat so bad that stuff doesn't stand up on it, but I'm too cheap to buy another one because this is like a 36-inch. It's a big cutting mat. And then I'm going to get it, and it's going to be all like rolled in a cylinder, and it's going to take 5 days for it to, am I lazy? Or I don't know. I might be lazy, but I'm just more annoyed by it. Now, I cut a lot out here when I'm making this bow for this cute little girl because I spent too much time and I was frustrating myself. You'll see a little gingham orange right there on the side. That's not used in this project. Because I tied this bow so many different times, and it's like, do you ever go back in your craft room and you try to approach something that you have done 1 million times before in your crafting life, and for some reason, all knowledge of said item just is completely gone from your brain? Like, I literally forgot how to make a bow. How does that happen? How does that happen? It's almost like, you know what, I woke up today and I forgot how to spell my name. You ever go to sit down and you'd be like, Whitney, W, what? Wow, I need some coffee or something, or maybe I had too much, but I have some carrot ribbon here. I just kind of did the awareness ribbon shape and then cinched it in the middle. And then with the purple ribbon, that's a paper mart ribbon that has no wire in it. So I basically cut that in half with my rotary cutter because I needed a thinner ribbon, but I wanted a purple, like a bright Eastery purple. So I just used a strip of the purple plaid behind the actual bow itself made of the carrot. The carrot ribbon I got at Michael's like a year, 2, 3, 4, 9 ago. Who knows? And then this is just a plethora of all kinds of extra little flowers that I have in my stash. And I just picked bright colors. I literally went through the rainbow and picked bright colors. Now you won't see blue, but I did have them. So I've got yellow, pink, orange, white, and then the greenery is from Amazon. And I'm cutting all these pieces apart. I always have a couple bundles nearby where I use them as parts, or I Frankenstein them, I like to say. Now that pink flower there, I kind of regretted, but I couldn't get it off. So I was trying to find something else to stick in the middle. That was like a little Dollar Tree plastic rose. I didn't like the way that looked, so I just stuck another little white flower off of another bush somewhere in the middle. And this is just a layering thing. I like making arrangements out of my bows. I love, it's time to do this little this smaller, tedious work. I love it. The arrangement comes alive for me, and it's like you're just making something out of I wouldn't say boring, but just of a simple little bow, and you can turn it into so much. And you'll see me with placement put this here. I really wanted this pink flower right here in here. I kept messing with it. And it's like, you know what, it's not too bad up here. So I grabbed some little, berry looking stuff off of the same bush. And I thought, well, maybe this is too long. But it's like, well, if I kind of have like a diagonal thing going here, almost like turning it into a swag is what I was trying to go for. What I wanted to do is just put a simple bow on the top left ear to make it look like a cute little, a girly bow for our little girl bunny. I'm not putting a face on it. I'm not putting any vinyl words, but those are all options. You could even do rub-on transfers on here. If you're very good with hand lettering, if you're good at just drawing faces, it would be really cute with some little eyelashes and a little bunny nose and whiskers. I just love flowers. This is me, guys. I love flowers, but you know that. You know me. You've been here. If you're new, you'll learn quick. I love flowers. I also love pumpkins. I would put a pumpkin on a bunny, but I do not know how that would go over. But I ended up just adding more of the pink, and I got exactly what I wanted. And you guys, I think that this is my favorite of the group. I love how all of them turned out, But for some reason, this little small bunny plaque just makes me happy when I look at it. It's got all of the best colors. The candle wax technique on the back of that plaque there with the black, because it was already painted black, I didn't have to do any other extra coats. It worked in my favor. So if you have something that has a base color on it that you already like, try that candle technique. Or if you have before, let me know your successes or your ideas. How would you do it? And have you done it before, or would you change it? But I love her. I think she's so cute. Makes me so happy. She's so cute. I'm telling you, man, these bright Easter colors just make me, spring colors just make me happy. I'd love to do stuff. I really think the spring pumpkin would go over well, don't you? I mean, I love pumpkins, guys, and I need there to be spring flowers in my pumpkins, in my punkies. So now our last DIY, I've got two here. So I've got two picture frames. This one, it says I paid $8, and I'm thinking I got it at Big Lots many, many years ago. Like I said, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 9, who knows. Now, and this is our little inexpensive $1.25 Dollar Tree sign. Now, this one doesn't have glass, but our major frame does, obviously. And I'm going to do two forms of the same thing to show you one a little bit more expensive, one a little bit less expensive. So the Dollar Tree sign comes apart very easy. They both have tabs. And I'm trying to take the paper off, wasn't too successful. So now I'm going to the major frame. I'm going to take this out. And this right here is a free clip art that I found online. There's a link to it in the description if you want to use the same one. You just right click, save as. I saved it as a JPEG, and then I printed it out on my regular laser printer. And I did one horizontal and then the other one vertical in the printer section, I mean, on your print page. Very, very fast and very easy. Now for the big frame, the actual picture frame itself, I just put the paper insert there. It's an 8x10 picture frame. And I use my rotary cutter and I cut my paper down just to get it in. And that's basically it. You're basically just putting it in like you would a photo. And then for now, that one is done. We're going to put her to the side and we're going to start on our Dollar Tree one. So now, because I have writing here, I didn't want it to show through. I found that this is an insert that I got. I had something mailed to me. I think I got like a decoupage paper or something like that. So it's a little bit thicker of cardstock. I save a lot of stuff. So if you don't have it, just maybe use 2 pieces of computer paper or something so that writing doesn't show through. I put it down with my AdTech glue runner again. That's the best adhesive for any kind of paper. I never have any problems with it lifting, and it is basically permanent. And so I'm going to put our bunny ears over top of that. Now you can see there's a little bit of a border on the top and bottom. Now I don't know if my glue runner is going to show through, so I only put glue on the edges and just on the corners on each side, because I want to cover up the top here. And well, first off, take the sides off. I'm using my finger sander just to get those sides off because I like those crisp edges. Even though this is going back in a frame, you won't see it. Now my idea here was to take some ribbon and cover up those raw edges of paper that you can see, because the paper is not exactly the right size. So I was trying to see, and I'm going to show you here in a second, if you can see kind of at an angle, you can see it creates a shadow, and you can see where the computer paper stops and our actual picture is behind it. So I want to cover that. And what I'm going to do is I had my same ribbon out, but I really like the orange, buffalo checker, the orange gingham from Dollar Tree. So again, when I think of bunnies, I think of carrots. So I got to go with oranges. And again, it's a beautiful spring color. And again, there's nothing wrong with bunnies outside of Easter, just like there's nothing wrong with pumpkins outside of fall, right? There's nothing wrong with pine trees in June. It's just, these things exist year round, right? So this is still something you could leave out in your home. You could even do sunflowers for fall if you're a bunny person and you like to decorate with bunnies. Even this, very simple. Now I got a little bit of something on the top of my computer paper there, so we're going to cover it. But after I glued down the ribbon, I cut off the edges, put it back in our Dollar Tree frame. Now we're set to go. Our 2 frames are ready. So the first one I'm going to work on is our Dollar Tree frame. And what I'll do first is I'm going to take my Spanish moss. This is a bright green color. I get it at Hobby Lobby in a larger bag. It's comparable to, the price you get for the square cubic feet that are in the bag. It is what it is. It's a decent price, and it's a very bright green, and it's very springy, and I love it, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now, I've used these foam roses here. You can get them at Dollar Tree, but I got this very large bag for a Valentine's DIY off of Amazon. It's linked in my Amazon link in the description and in a pinned comment below. Should you want to order the same ginormous bag of roses, you can. Now, one of my roses fell apart, so I'm leaving it in the 3 pieces, but I'm twisting them here back together. So I put a little bit of glue in there and just kind of rolled them together in my hands. Burnt myself a little bit, not too bad, but it's worth it. Beauty is pain, and we're making something pretty. And now these little white flowers here, I could not tell you where I got them. They've been in my stash for years. It's just something that makes me happy. So if you have like a little baby's breath sprig or berries or something like that, just find something that is comparable or is basically speaking to you for your spring arrangement. And we're not going to put a bow here, but we're going to use the Spanish moss and the roses like we would a ribbon or a bow. And this is where we're making our arrangement. So because it's computer paper and everything else like that, this is obviously a permanent item and things aren't going to come apart. Now, I'm using the leftovers pieces that I was cutting off of my Amazon greenery from our previous little bunny plaque. So these are the end pieces because I cut the tips off of them. And you can't tell because I cut them close, and you cut them close enough to the next leaf in the little sprig there, and you can't tell that it was something that was already, Frankenstein or pulled apart. So again, I save everything. So had I not used them in the same video, you would have seen these in the next video. And then from here, I'm just cutting these longer pieces and I'm just adding them here and there to make things look even. Now, I don't copy or mirror things left on right. Some people do that and it looks gorgeous. I like things to be uneven. I like them to be off center. I like them to be off. I love stuff that looks crooked. I like put things at angles, but here I'm showing you that little spot right there on the paper that I want to cover up. And so I got these carrots at Dollar Tree. These very, very Dollar Tree famous. We'll say famous, Dollar Tree famous carrots. And I'm taking my jute cord, also from Dollar Tree, and I'm just adding a little bit of design texture. I don't know. I honestly, I just wanted to do it. I couldn't tell you why I did it. It's just something that, your crafty brain grabs things and it gives birth to gorgeous items or horrible nightmares, one or the other. But, the horrible nightmares usually don't make it into videos. But sometimes with me, they do. You guys have seen some of my major flubs, but I wanted to add just something to the carrots to make them just not be so basic. And then also, I didn't change the little grasses coming out the top because I got a good set that didn't have messed up grass coming out of the top of the carrot. But I did add some more of that Spanish moss to the top of the carrot just to make it look messy. This is like a cute messy. I wanted it to go very farmhouse, very messy. And I felt like this is the best way for me to cover up that little spot that I got on my paper. Now, yes, you could go print it out again, but I didn't want to waste it. I didn't want to waste the paper, and I felt like there's definitely a way I could fix this. So I'm making my second carrot the same way. I just twisted them kind of diagonally and then went down and back up in an X pattern. And I'm gluing my carrots down just on the back. The second carrot I'm going to put kind of diagonally laying on top of the other one. So after I've got my Spanish moss on, you'll see here, so I have it kind of like they're laying on top of each other. I was cleaning it up just a little bit, but not too much. And now that extra little foam rose there, we're going to stick that on the back side. That's one of the pieces that came off from the one right there above, the one rose that had fallen apart. And now I'm going to make another little tiny jute bow with 4 fingers. I tried 3 fingers at first. It was a little bit too small. So this is wrapped around 4 fingers. I only wrapped it around my fingers 10 times. And then I took a second piece of jute and I pinched it in the middle and I used it and I tied that around. Glued that to one of the fronts of the first carrot we put down. And then now this one, I'm just going to kind of tuck into the back here. So it gives a perfect little, pop of yellow. And it ties in your arrangement from the bottom. So we have the rose, the yellow rose, and then also the Spanish moss, and then now also these cute little white sprigs of flowery, they're little styrofoam balls on the end of these stems. But I'm pulling the same elements from the bottom arrangement into the top of the carrot so that you can see that it matches. So there is some symmetry, but not too much. We don't want it to look too uniform because, I don't want this to look like it's a shelf piece that was mass produced. This is what we do. We make, you and I, we make custom items. We make things that make us happy. And I love how it turned out. I couldn't be happier. This one was one that I didn't know. I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy this Dollar Tree one and see what happens. And that's just computer paper. I love it. So now our second girl here, I'm gonna show you at the end the two together. I didn't picture them separately. So this is the same ribbon you saw me cut in half earlier. This is how it normally comes. It's a 2.5 inch ribbon. It is non-wired from Paper Mart I got years ago. I've got a lot of different plaids. I feel that Easter is the best time to use purple colors, and especially these lavenders, these soft lavenders, they make me happy. So I've got the same ribbon. Now I'm using the other piece that I cut in half to cinch this bow in the middle. Again, it's an awareness ribbon shape. It probably took about 14 to 16 inches, made that loop shape, pinched it in the middle, and then I used the extra piece of ribbon that I cut earlier to tie it. Now, it doesn't really matter at some point because I glue some stuff to the middle of it, but this little bundle of purple flowers here, I got at Michael's a few years ago, maybe even, I don't know, more than that. I'm using them and I'm going to create a swag. I'm going to be gluing to the glass on this frame. Now, it's not permanent. You can take it off with time. It's not going to fall out. This is an indoor item. It's not going to get a lot of wear and tear. We're not playing soccer with it or taking it to the store. So it will be fine. If you ever want to change the picture in the back, you can do so. And then with a little bit of heat and care, you can take all this hot glue off the top. But I wanted to make the swag per se, we'll call it a little mini floral swag, out of the bow itself. So I'm mostly trying to glue to the bow and the flowers here, so that it all comes off in one piece should I ever want to change it or move it around or, recycle it into something else. So I'm using my Amazon greenery bundle here. I think you get like 26 or 36 of those big ones, maybe even 60. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a decent, and it's a very good price. And then here are the same foam roses again. And these are the white ones out of the Amazon pack. The ones I got at Dollar Tree were like a yellowy cream color. They're really pretty, but not a bright, crispy spring. So these are my Amazon foam roses again. And I'm using 3 here. And the one I'm specifically purposely pulling the middle out of it because I just wanted the little smaller bud to kind of complement the other 2 full-size roses. And now for the rest of this, I'm going to pull apart what was left of the last bundle or the last stem in that purple flower bundle. And I'm going to add the greenery and the flowers around the bow. So I'm taking my glue. I'm putting it on the ends of the wires and the ends of the little plastic stems, and I'm tucking them around all the other pieces. There are only a few things. I think the Amazon greenery does get glued to the glass in a couple places. And again, it's not detrimental. It's not going to fall apart. Hot glue will stick to glass, and it's not an outdoor piece, so I don't have to worry about heat or rain or anything like that. So just remember, you can decorate these things. You could even put like a bird's nest right in the middle of the glass with some really cute scrapbook paper behind it. And you'd be able to recycle that for the next season or take that off and then put that anywhere and then change out your picture in the back. But I love it. So this is a little bit more of a higher end frame. I mean, $8 is $8. You can get $50 frames anywhere. But this $8 frame, it's a good thickness. It's already got a wood grain on it, so the work is already done for you. You don't have to paint on it. So here's a little bit more of an expensive frame. Expensive for Dollar Tree taste, I should say, and a little bit more simple of an arrangement. And then here's our Dollar Tree one, which we have a lot more little tiny accoutrement. That's my favorite word, apparently, to add to an arrangement. But I love the bunny ears, guys. I love the carrots that I added to this one. I honestly think, second to my little bunny plaque, for some reason, I got a thing for bunny ears this year. I love this, and this clip art that I found couldn't be better. So again, if you want to do something with that clip art, it is free, and it is I have the link to that page in my description box below. Take a peek and see what you can do. And I would love to see it. So if you make any of these things, guys, send them to me in my Instagram account. You can send me pictures and message me there, and I will get it all, and I will answer you, and I would love to see them. I love the stuff that we all come up with as a group. We were just some awesome people here. So that's it for my DIYs today. I got 3 of them here. Now, I did I guess 4, because I did 2 picture frames. So I got 3 bunny ears and then 1 egg. Something happened. And I got more bunny ear stuff planned. So the next video might have some more bunny ears in it too. For some reason, bunny ears make me happy. And I like always having one bunny ear bent. But that little bunny plaque ended up being my favorite. I love these colors. I just love bright colors. I wear bright colors too, guys. Like I'm the person that's out in bright orange and bright green and pink. I'm not afraid to definitely be seen in traffic. We'll put it that way. You're going to see me cross the street. Trust me. There's no way you hit me by accident. Just saying. But you guys tell me what you think. Tell me, have you already done your Eastery, decor and your DIYs yet? Or are you still looking for ideas? Sometimes just watching the videos just helps, lift your spirits. Sometimes I'll watch fall videos in the middle of the year just to make me happy because I get my pumpkin fix. But that's it for today. I had so much fun making these, and I love the fact that all these bright colors just make me smile. I have a coffee page. So again, if you guys, I want to thank you if you've donated to me in the past. I appreciate it more than I can possibly say. If you feel like you've learned anything from me or you like my videos, consider buying me a cup of coffee. The link is in my description, and I love you every second. Now, with that being said, I want to say thank you guys so much for all of your support. Love the fact that you guys are so awesome and accepting. I love you more than I can say in words. Many hugs, happy crafting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.